Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. This time, we're headed to the forests of the Philippines to track down a creature that's as beautiful as it is endangered, the Visayan spotted deer.
Yeah, they're incredible animals.
I've heard so many amazing things about them.
Definitely.
So, before we jump in,
Sure.
could you tell us a little bit about what makes this deer so unique?
Well, for starters, just look at them.
I've seen pictures, yeah.
They have they're kind of compact, stocky little deer, almost dark brown fur, and it's just covered
Oh, wow.
with these cream-colored spots.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and the males,
Yeah.
they have these, they're not huge, but they have antlers.
Okay.
3-tined antlers.
I've reading about those spots.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently they're not just fashionable.
No, not at all.
They're
all about survival.
crucial for camouflage.
Right, they live in these dense forests.
Yeah, in the Philippines.
Exactly, in the Philippines. And so all those spots, they help them blend right into that dappled light, It's like the sunlight coming through the leaves.
Right.
It's remarkable.
And speaking of the Philippines,
Yeah.
this deer isn't found just anywhere, right?
No, that's one of the things that makes them so special.
Sure.
And so vulnerable, frankly. They're only found on a few islands in the Philippines.
Gotcha.
He used to be on more.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like Cebu, Light, Samar, but habitat loss.
Oh, I see.
It's really restricted their range.
That's so sad.
Primarily now they're just Negros and Panay.
And I was reading some pretty startling numbers about just how much habitat
It's not good.
has been lost.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about less than 10%
Wow.
of their original habitat remaining.
That's hard to even imagine.
It's a crisis.
90% gone.
Yeah, it's been taken over by logging,
Oh.
agriculture, human settlements.
So it's not just one thing.
No, it's a whole combination of factors.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Putting immense pressure on them.
And when you think about just how much habitat has been lost,
Yeah.
it makes sense that their numbers would be...
Dwindling, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's estimated that there are fewer than 2,500
Wow.
individuals left in the wild.
Fewer than 2,500.
Yeah.
That's just heartbreaking.
It's a very real possibility that we could lose them.
So I know we've talked about habitat loss
Yeah.
as this major threat,
Mm-hmm.
but I understand logging isn't the only culprit.
Right, yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the different types of logging and how they impact the deer?
Sure. So you have illegal logging,
Right.
where they're going after those valuable timber species
Yeah.
without any regard for sustainability.
Right.
And then there's legal logging, too,
Okay.
which, it's supposed to be regulated.
Yeah.
But even then, it can really fragment the forest and create these edges that are just more vulnerable
I see.
to encroachment.
It's like a domino effect.
Exactly.
Even if it starts out with good intentions,
Right.
it can still have these unintended consequences.
Absolutely.
The outline also mentions hunting is a significant threat.
Yes, unfortunately.
Can you delve into what drives that pressure?
Sure. So there's a local demand for bushmeat.
Okay.
And in some of these impoverished areas,
Yeah.
it can be a source of income,
Yeah, that makes sense.
to hunt these deer.
I can see how that would be difficult to control,
Yeah, it is.
especially in those remote areas.
Exactly. And there are laws in place to protect the deer,
Right.
but enforcing them is incredibly challenging.
Yeah, I bet.
Limited resources,
Yeah.
remote locations.
It's just a really tough situation.
It is.
So with all these threats facing the Visayan spotted deer,
Yeah.
what's being done to help? Like, what are some of the conservation efforts underway?
Well, there's definitely hope.
Okay, good. Captive breeding programs are playing a crucial role.
Okay.
There's one in particular
Yeah.
at the Negros Forest Park in Bacolod City,
Okay.
and they're doing amazing work.
That's great.
They're really working hard to create this safety net population.
Okay, so like a backup.
Exactly, just in case the wild populations
Yeah.
can't be saved.
But captive breeding is obviously only part of the solution, right?
Right, it's not enough to just breed them in captivity.
So what happens to the deer after they're bred?
Well, the ultimate goal
Yeah.
is to reintroduce them
Oh, okay.
back into protected areas.
That makes sense.
But before you can do that,
Yeah.
you have to make sure there's suitable habitat,
Right, of course.
which often means restoring those degraded forests.
That sounds like a huge undertaking.
It is. It's a long-term commitment.
And, even if you have the habitat
Mm-hmm.
and you've successfully bred these deer,
Yeah.
releasing them into the wild
It's not a guarantee.
doesn't guarantee their survival. Right, exactly. You can't just release them and hope for the best.
What else needs to be done?
So you need long-term monitoring.
Mm.
You have to manage those threats.
Like the poaching.
Like poaching, exactly.
Yeah.
And perhaps most importantly,
Okay.
you need community involvement.
I was going to say, it's not just about the science.
It's not, no.
It's about the people who live alongside these animals.
Absolutely.
So how do you get communities involved?
Well, education is key.
Mm-hmm.
Helping people understand
Yeah.
the importance of the deer,
Right.
the interconnectedness of the ecosystem.
It's all connected.
It is. And when people understand that,
Yeah.
they're much more likely to become stewards to protect them.
Makes sense.
And then there are things like ecotourism,
Oh, yeah. I remember reading about that.
which can provide alternative livelihoods
Okay.
that are compatible with conservation.
So like guided tours.
Exactly. People come,
Yeah.
they want to see these incredible deer.
See them in their natural habitat.
Yeah, and that benefits the local economy.
Right. And it gives people a reason to protect them.
Exactly. It's a win-win.
So it sounds like the Visayan spotted deer is facing an uphill battle,
It is.
but there's still hope.
Oh, absolutely.
And that hope lies in a combination of captive breeding, habitat restoration,
Yeah.
community engagement,
All working together.
working together, yeah.
That's the only way.
And it really highlights how interconnected we all are.
It does.
What happens in these forests in the Philippines impacts us all.
It really does.
And I think that's something for all of us to think about.
Yeah.
How can we, even from afar,
Right.
help protect creatures like the Visayan spotted deer?
It's a question worth asking.
It really is. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive
It's been a pleasure.
into the world of the Visayan spotted deer.
Yeah.
We've only scratched the surface,
There's so much more to learn.
but hopefully this has sparked your curiosity to learn more and maybe even inspire you to take action.
That would be fantastic.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks, Sue.
We'll see you next time.
See you then.